Turn on the lights because the Danbury Westerners are playing tonight. They'll be swinging their bats and they'll be hitting home runs. It's a night of excitement and family fun.
Welcome, sports fans, to another edition of Westerners Roundup.
Hello and welcome to Danbury Westerners Roundup. I'm your host, Scott D. Lewis, here on location down at Rogers Park, home of the NECBL Western Division defending champion Danbury Westerners. Right now the Westerners are in a dogfight as the season is winding down. A few weeks left as they are putting up a fight to get into the playoffs so they can defend that title. We're here getting some interviews for the players, from the coaches, and we're going to bring that all to you during the show this week. So we hope you enjoy it. Of course, the show airs every Thursday at 6:30 and re-airs on Fridays at 1:30 in the afternoon, and you can see us every week during the NECBL season. So tune in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, we're here with Director of Baseball Operations, Jack Deering of the Danbury Westerners, and of course you can always find Jack down here at Rogers Park checking out the Danbury Westerners baseball games. Tonight's a little bit of a special, more than a usual night for Jack, a special night as it is National Registered Nurses Week, and they are putting on a promotion here for Jack's fund that he put together in honor of your wife, who was a longtime nurse, Carolyn M. Deering, as we see the sign right here that looks great. So this is a very special night for you, Jack, as people come by and help, contribute to this fund that you've had set up for about 8 years or so now?
Well, 2005.
Yeah.
May of 2005. And it's the Carolyn M. Deering Memorial, RN Memorial Nursing Education Fund. It's a grant program for the registered nurses who are employed at Danbury Hospital.
So that's a great program for anybody to be involved with, and it's got to be an honor for you to have it in your wife's name.
Well, it is, and when you go through the information that I provided, for the past 6 years, and when you see our charge, and 100% of the money, there's no administrative fee, so 100% of the money goes to the registered nurses for the continuing ed.
And that's the way it should be. Sometimes there's administration fees, and other times you're just not sure where all the money goes to some of these funds. But when you got 100% going, that's a good thing.
Oh, absolutely, and rightfully so, because they deserve it. The registered nurse is the heart of the matter for patient care and addressing the families, when the patient's in the hospital.
Yeah, the nurse is the first, line of defense, basically, when you go to the hospital. They're the ones who, get the tender touch. They make sure everybody's comfortable. They get situated. Then they do a lot more than that. But just the human aspect of it and the fact that they try to make everybody feel comfortable and at ease in the hospital, they do a lot.
Well, it's more than the human aspect. It's actually, they're the pre and post, for the physicians and surgeons, to give them an accurate report on what the patient is doing and what the symptoms are,
Right. Well, yeah, a lot of times as a patient you have more interaction with the nurse than you would with the doctor. So.
Well, and the registered nurse is the only one that can administer medication.
So, yeah, you're in good hands. With, and Danbury Hospital, of course, is a great hospital, and they have more than qualified people working over there and doing great work. So how did, you decide, and were you able to get this fund going, this grant fund?
Well, I had to initiate it, and get it going with a big time contribution, and I've contributed heavily every year since its inception. Okay. And rightfully so, because I have a debt service to the registered nurse. It's not just in memory of my wife. It's in debt service means I owe.
Right.
Okay, I've been in the hospital so much since 1955, right up through to 2012 in August. And if it wasn't for the physician and surgeon and registered nurse, I'd have been horizontal a long time ago.
So they're keeping you going. They're doing it. They were indebted to them as well, because we need you, Jack.
They're keeping me vertical. I'd like to bring up one of the registered nurses that's on the committee.
Sure, you want to come step in for a second?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
This is Mary Alice Cullen, RN, and she's the manager of NICU, and I'd like her to describe to you what NICU is.
All right,
Okay.
you feel up for that?
Sure.
All right, you want to give us the
So a
description?
NICU is a neonatal intensive care unit. So we take care of
Let's make sure you're in. So good.
babies,
Mhm.
babies that are born early, and also babies that are born full term that might have some problems right after delivery.
Uh-huh.
So babies can be with us anywhere from a couple of days to 6 months. And so the nurses that work in the NICU are very highly skilled. We have a lot of nurses that are certified in their specialty, and they're very well trained, and they keep up their education. The Deering Fund helps with that. We've actually sent nurses to our national conferences with the help of the Deering Fund, so that's been great.
Yeah.
So
And so you've been involved with the Deering Fund for
Yes.
a little while now, too?
yes,
From its inception.
So you've been
She's
here
one of the original committee members.
grassroots.
yeah, the committee has representation from many different nursing areas, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been great.
So, I mean, you guys have helped, I mean, how many, roughly about how many people
Oh,
you think you've really helped
well-
out get nurse-wise? I mean,
Well, there's been a variety of programs. There's been the individual scholarships that we've given to people to either do a special course where they would come back then and teach other nurses that skill. There have been, sending nurses to conferences. We've also sponsored educational days at the hospital with support from the Deering Fund. So, for instance, there have been, I think, 2 or 3 focused on diabetic patients.
And
And-
burn care.
and-
wound care.
and wound care.
Burn-
And
not burn care.
then also we've been able to purchase a lot of up-to-date textbooks for our library at the hospital that are all nursing-based textbooks.
It's a great program that Jack's got.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know his late wife?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did not.
I'll get Jack to talk about her in a minute
Yeah.
or so. Anything else you'd like to add to, you came down to the ballpark. Were you one of the people I saw throughout the first pitch?
No,
Oh,
one
you
of
were
my
not?
nurses from the NICU
Okay.
did, though, so
All right.
that was great.
That was Nancy.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
How do you pronounce her last name?
Semanowitz.
Semanowitz.
they
Yeah.
all threw pretty well. The
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 guys and the 1 girl that were out
Yep.
there.
Well, Dr. Cooper, who took care of Carolyn for the 3 years, that she needed his assistance, because she had colon cancer, okay? And then 11 East is without question. 11 East is the cancer floor. I get too emotional,
I understand, Jack. That's okay.
you know.
But so they did a great job.
Oh. Especially Catherine Wolf with a C.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, we thank you for stepping in for a minute. I'm going to talk to Jack for a little bit longer. Do you want to say a little bit about your wife and all the years of service she put in?
Well, my late wife was a graduate in Newark Hospital School of Nursing. She entered the nursing program in June of '55, and she graduated in June of '58. And, this picture here is a student nurse, and this is her graduation, and this is her total graduation picture with the other nurses with the capes and the uniforms and the caps and the candles, and, it's not that way anymore.
Yeah. Things are a little bit different
Things are a little bit different
in all
because,
walks of life.
well, because the registered nurse doesn't wear white anymore.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all used to be decked out in white. Now,
Well, it used to be decked out in white with white stockings and white shoes and the cap,
mm-hmm.
and I'm old school.
Did you meet her when she was in her nurse's outfit, or when
No,
did you meet her?
no. I got out of the Air Force in May of '54, and I was going to 10 o'clock Mass at St. Mary's Church in Norwalk, and I spotted her in church. It took me 10, 11 months, to meet up with her, but I finally met up with her, and we agreed, that I could call her, and then we went out on our first date, and the rest is history. We had 48 years together and 6 children.
That's a good history to have.
Well, it is, She was a wonderful woman. I mean, she was a good woman, and she, as a registered nurse, she depicts nursing when you look at her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, it's great that you're able to carry on her name in such a positive way to help
you
people.
When people say, carry on her name in a positive way and remembering her, it's not just her, it's all of the RNs that I have a debt service to, and I can't be emphatic enough about that, because all of the registered nurses that I've experienced, and I've been in 5 or 6 different hospitals, including Centera Norfolk General down in Norfolk, Virginia for 2 months, 10 years ago. And the registered nurse is just special for me, with me.
And it's great for you to be able to come down, as part of your work with the Westerners, and have an opportunity to get the fans to come over here and say hello. And
Well, Bob Mosley, past president of the Greater Danbury Men's Club, was a sponsor for this evening. And his late wife, Margaret Ann, was a registered nurse from Portland, Maine, and he's a regular contributor to the nursing fund on an annual basis. And so he sponsored this theme here tonight, and, I'm just very appreciative of him.
What's a good way for people that are watching to be able to contribute or get in touch with, you to find out about the fund?
Well, just email me, jwdeering@snet.net, and J.W. Deering is spelled Deering, or else, call me at 203-984-0877 and give me the details of where you live, and I'd be happy to send you a 6-year overview with an envelope and a coupon to contribute.
Feel like talking a little baseball? The Westerners are seasons, 12 and 16 right now, but they're on the edge of the playoffs trying to get back in.
Well, I believe in Yogi Berra. It's never over until it's over.
And this team with this...
Well, I mean, look at us last year. We got off to a slow start, and then we ended up playing Newport for the New England Championship,
Yeah, you guys got red hot last year at the right time. Made a real magical run into the playoffs. And, that's what you got to do. You got to get into the playoffs, and then who knows what can happen.
Well, I was very thrilled last year for the 3 players that I signed and brought to the Westerners. Brett Housesill, Zach Shank, and Mike Orifice.
Yeah.
Zach Shank right now was drafted by the Seattle Mariners in the 28th round, and he's playing with Pulaski, Virginia in the Appalachian Rookie League.
Excellent. Those guys were all, were they the Marist boy?
Well, they were all 3 Marist.
Marist, yeah. The Marist connection was a big deal last year.
And this year I signed Alex Tuccio.
Oh, nice pickup.
Yeah, I found him at Frozen Ropes and never seen him play a game, but I had a gut feeling about him.
Right.
He's lightning in a bottle.
Well, sometimes you got to go with the gut when you're scouting the players. And
absolutely.
With your years of experience being around the game and seeing big league talent, when you see somebody who looks like they got something.
I was very fortunate to be broken in by some of the top scouts from 1958, through to 78.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that these men would spend a lot of Sundays with a bologna sandwich and a can of soda watching a baseball game.
Right.
And the scouts are the foundation of baseball, because if there was no scouting, there wouldn't be any baseball.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you guys go all over the place. Scouts are the ones that are scouring everywhere to find the talent and bring it all to, to the forefront. So baseball fans need those guys out there.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to use Mike Piazza as an example.
Yeah.
Mike Piazza was drafted in the 62nd round.
Right.
And Tommy Lasorda had to get on his knees and beg the Dodgers to sign him. And look at what he did. So, it doesn't make any difference when you were drafted first round or 62nd round.
Yeah.
It's the talent that you have inside of you, and it's the talent that you believe in. The player has to believe in his talent.
Yeah, and that was a great story, that Mike Piazza story. And he turned out to be the most successful offensive catcher in the history of the game and in the Dodgers organization. He set a bunch of records, even though he didn't finish his career there.
Oh, listen, without question, Mike Piazza is one of the greatest offensive, catchers in baseball, along with Johnny Bench. I mean, you can't deny Johnny Bench.
Yeah. Absolutely. Johnny Bench, maybe the best all around. There's been some great catchers that come through the game.
Back in my day, Roy Campanella, Yogi Berra,
Yogi, you can't really argue with Yogi sometimes too, you know.
Well,
With the stuff he
listen.
did.
Well, you know, it's exhausting today that most major league teams don't want anybody under 6 feet.
Yeah, that's true. They used
You
to be
know?
much bigger guys. Carlton Fisk, Bob Boone, those type of guys.
I mean, I could name you a host of players that were very successful in the big leagues that were under 6 foot. Okay, when I scout for talent. I don't look at their size.
Yeah.
Okay, I look at what's inside of them. I look at the good citizen part of them. I look at their talent, and do they believe in themselves?
Right.
And do they have the courage to want to go forward?
Yeah, and those are all good attributes to make a successful player. Somebody that can, you know, has more than just talent and ability. They have to have the inner workings to make things really get you to the next level and beyond.
You know, in plain English, you have to have guts.
Right.
You
Takes a
know.
lot of guts.
And listen, I want to thank you, Scott. You know, you and I have talked about, you know, having the medical team in studio, and I would love to schedule that with you to have the medical team in studio along with the trainer, because he's the medical director, Lee Day. You know, from Agility and Connecticut Family Orthopedics, and you know, I mean, look at that fabulous trailer over there.
Yeah, that was
You
nice.
know, with a golf cart and everything. You know, so I
Well,
mean,
yeah, we'd love to have you come back down if you can bring the medical staff and we can get more full interview with those guys in the studio. That would be great. It's been nice that I was able to get down here tonight on this special night for you and get a chance to talk to you with everything.
well,
going
you
on.
know, people out there need to understand one thing. Okay, we're going through extremely difficult financial times. Okay, but when you're going through difficult financial times, you have to stand up and you have to keep going. Okay, and everybody is going to depend on the registered nurse when they're sick in the hospital or in the families, you know. So, you know, whatever anybody can do, you know, 10 tens are 100, and 10 of those are 1,000, and 10 of those are 10,000.
That's right. So don't
you
think
know,
any contribution is too small. It's
No,
not
don't
too
think
small.
Any contribution is too small. Well, Scott, I want to thank you, and I really appreciate you know, the time with you.
No problem, Jack. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure I'll talk to you again soon.
Dr. Robert Cooper. Andrew Hall. And Nancy Savinowitz.
All right, we're here with Danbury Westerners president, Paul Schaffer. Paul, good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for having me.
You didn't turn down the heat for me. I came out to the ballpark. I was hoping maybe it would cool off a little bit, but not quite.
Yeah, we'll come back next week. We got a 4-game homestand next week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and it'll be a lot cooler.
Hopefully this heat wave breaks. But so how are you feeling? Teams, you know, 12 and 16 right now, right on the edge of the playoffs. But we've seen this team with these coaches be able to get the guys to rally late in the season before. How are you feeling about where the team is right now?
Yeah, obviously we don't like the 12 and 16 record, but I will tell everyone that the team's been playing quite well as of late, highly competitive, and there's still a lot of baseball to play. I really do like our chances to make a nice run in the playoffs.
And you've had to bolster the troops recently, I guess some injuries and things like that, so there's some new players on the team in the last week or so?
Yeah, that's right. We've actually lost a couple of infielders, so we've signed 3 infielders in the last week, plus another pitcher, as our staff has gotten a little bit depleted because of injuries there as well. And we have a couple more folks we're scouting right now to try and bring on the next day or two.
All right, so the roster just keeps getting built on, and you guys keep trying to do what you can to make sure that you get some wins here and get back into the playoffs. Western Division champs, you don't want to miss the playoffs when you're the champs, right?
Absolutely not, And this team is really starting to gel together right now. It's a good bunch of guys. They're playing their hearts out. There's effort every night out here, which is what you want to see, and that will translate to wins.
All right, besides the actual baseball, you guys do a lot of stuff in the community. You got a lot of special events throughout the season. You had the big golf outing. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, the golf outing was yesterday. It was a terrific time. We had Tommy John, Dave Fleming, and former New York Giants punter Jeff Fiegels there, celebrity golfers. All three are gentlemen. They signed a lot of autographs, posed for a lot of pictures, and Fiegels actually shot quite well.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw my right-hand man, Bob Roth Jr., was posing for pictures, getting himself in photos with all those guys.
There's a shock, isn't it?
Mugging for the camera, Bob. Anyways, so it was a great event yesterday?
It was a great event. It's been a fun week this week. We had one of our former players, Mike Ford, just signed with the New York Yankees.
Oh, great.
Which is great. He was just tearing up the Cape League, and he signed and is reporting today, as a matter of fact.
Fantastic.
For Staten Island. So we hope to catch a couple games with him after our season's over.
And any other events that have been going on? And beginning of the year we had the breakfast, which was a great event. Ron Darling did a fantastic job with that.
Yeah, Ron was terrific as always. Our breakfast is our Keystone event. We've been having our summer camps. We just conclude week 2 today, and week 3 is next week. They've been a real hit. The kids, and I say kids, it's ages 7 to 17, have been instructed by the Westerner players, and we find that really differentiates ourselves from some of the other local camps here, to be taught by people who have been playing the game or continue to play the game and improve the game themselves. They can provide their skills to this next generation of players, and hopefully we'll get a couple of future Westerners out of these guys.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, you have some local kids on the team right now. Rob Blanc's been a great story from Sandy Hook. I mean, with what he's doing pitching-wise, the fact he's from Sandy Hook, that's got to be a nice...
Oh, yeah, we're thrilled with Rob. We've been giving him the opportunity here to pitch, and you give these guys an opportunity to prove themselves, and you've got a lot of guys like Blanc who step up and really prove that they belong not only in this league, but, possibly further down the road.
And any other events coming up besides the stuff that's already happened and the camps that you got going on?
Yeah, well, tomorrow we'll be at City Center, the City Center concert series. We're sponsoring the event.
Nice.
Yeah, it is very nice. And then, once the playoffs are done, we have a couple of things in the community. We'll be at the Taste of Danbury in September. There's a couple of other events that we're working on right now. We're visible all 12 months. That's one of my goals, is you don't just see us in June, July, but you see us, our organization, all year round.
Well, you guys do a great job of it, working in the community, not just coming out here for the 2-3 months or 2.5 months of the baseball season. So everybody around here appreciates it, and great job. Thanks for taking a couple minutes with me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, now we're here with pitcher Neil Fryer of Danbury Westerners. Neil, you got some great numbers coming into tonight's game. How have you felt about what you've been doing so far for the team this year?
I've been glad with the role that Coach Chev has been giving me. It's good, like, all the guys get a certain amount of innings, and they each have, like, their individual roles, kind of. But I've just been trying to come into the games and keep us in the games, keep the ball down. And, like, personally, I've been working on my mechanics, trying to refine and everything. So I'm really pleased with how that's been going so far.
And, being able to play in a league like this, wouldn't bad league, for you guys that are, in college, still working on your game, it's got to be a great experience for you to be able to do stuff like that, work on your mechanics,
right?
Get used to day-to-day grind, the whole bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we come from college ball, it's the adjustment from the metal to wood, and, like, obviously the next level they play with wood bats, so it's kind of like preparing you for that if you are going to be able to play at the next level. So sure. It's nice to come in and see what it really is like.
Well, the Westerners have had some good success, getting players drafted and moving guys into, opportunities to play in the big leagues at least, and so is the whole league. So it's a good place to start for that. Your numbers, 17 and 2/3 innings, 24 strikeouts in 17 innings. That's a pretty nice number right there, 2.03 ERA. Those are pretty nice numbers.
Thank you.
I mean, you got to feel good about that. Are you throwing power? What kind of is your heater? I mean, with those kind of strikeout numbers, I figure you're probably a power thrower, no?
Nah, not too much. Like, I'm an upper 80s guy, but, like, I have 4 pitches, 3 of which are fairly decent. So I like to keep a steady mix going, so you, like, keep the hitters, like, off balance.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And what about some of the other guys on the team? I mean, there's some good pitchers, some real good ERAs. I mean, you got like 6 guys under 3. 3 guys under 2. So I mean, there's plenty of guys
There's
on this team.
a lot of great arms on this team. It's great to have that ability to call someone on who you know is going to come in and get the job done.
And are you guys building a nice rapport with each other? Good
Oh,
camaraderie?
it's a great relationship in the dugout. Like,
yeah?
I love how all the guys cheer together, and it's like a tight knit group of guys. Like, even though we're only here for two months, it's
right.
like we've known each other for a long time. It's a great
well,
vibe.
It's every day you guys are with each other playing ball, traveling, and doing all that stuff. What about some of the guys like Zach Tax, who's been here his second year now? Does he take on a leadership role? Or?
Yeah, it seems like he knows like a lot of the league and how it runs, and like the fans and the places and the other teams, like how they play the game. So he definitely comes and does a great job. Like his stats are great as well.
Yeah, he's got some great numbers. All right, well, Neil, we appreciate you taking a couple minutes.
Appreciate
Good luck
it.
tonight. We'll see you.
Have a nice night.
All right, we're here with Rob Blanc, one of the pitchers for the Danbury Westerners. Rob, nice to meet you. Thanks for taking a couple minutes. Rob is a local kid out of Sandy Hook, Newtown. So, it's been great for you to be on this team with everything, of course, that's happened with Sandy Hook. I'm sure it's been nice for some of the people in the community to see you playing and playing very well. So, how's your experience been so far here?
It's been good. This is my second year, and it's just great to be back. And I'm starting to pitch well, and it's been great.
They've shifted you, I think, recently into the starting rotation. Earlier you were out of the bullpen. 21 innings so far, I think. 1.28 ERA. 13 strikeouts, a couple wins, so right now pretty good numbers out of you.
Yep.
And I know recently you had a big performance in one of the wins, so this team needs big performances now with the way the record is. What are you concentrating on now as you get down here in the last couple weeks?
I mean, as a team, we gotta focus on winning each game. We're gonna have all those close games, and our starting pitching is a big part of that. Getting out to shutting down teams early and getting out to early leads is huge for us.
Yeah, and at 12 and 16, obviously it's a tough position, but only a half game out of that final playoff spot. So you were here last year, so you know that this team got hot in the second half last year, got real hot in the second half last year, and made a great run. So what do you feel about the chemistry of this team? You see any similarities? Any reason for the fans here to be like, yeah, we can see something good potentially still to come?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great group of guys. It reminds me a lot of the team we had the year before, and I think we can pull it off and make it to the playoffs.
Well, as Western Division champs, you guys definitely don't want to miss the playoffs. You want to at least get back there to give yourself a real chance, to defend that title and then, move on and get the elusive NECBL championship. So, we're all down here rooting for you. And, we wish you continued success. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves right now, so hopefully you can just keep up what you're doing and the rest of you guys can really, keep plugging away, because I know that's Coach's his mantra, Yeah. It's a long season. A lot of teams will start to fade down the stretch, but if he keeps his guys motivated, focused, wanting to be here, and he says he feels like the guys do want to be here still, something special could happen. So, hopefully that's what we'll be watching here in the last couple weeks.
Sure hope so.
All right, well, thanks, Rob, for taking a couple minutes.
No problem.
Good luck with the game tonight and this weekend, a couple double headers.
Yeah,
and,
it's going to be a long one.
And the heat wave hopefully will break soon, and maybe it'll cool off, but you guys will get hot.
Yep.
All right, thanks a lot,
Thank
Rob.
you.